Yo, what is good people, and welcome along to my latest video. Now today we're back in Staffordshire at a place called Beech Caves, or maybe better known as the Rave Caves. Now this is situated a stone's throw from the M6, and I did a post on this when I was here last month saying how thousands drive past here on a daily, completely unawares, which hopefully I'll show you all shortly. So like with every other video, let's take a look at where it is on my map. And it's not filling up as fast as I wanted to, but I'm still plodding along anyway. And also a look at the old maps and the LiDAR as well, showing the caves and also some nearby old quarries. And again, like previous videos, a little look at the geology in the area. And it's mainly made up of a few different types of sandstone, as you can see here. So onto some information I managed to find out about the place, which surprisingly enough there isn't much of. Now it does say how it's unknown when the caves were built, but likely to have started in 1633. Now it also mentions the quarried stone could have been used for the nearby Trentham Hall, although no records exist. Speaking of stately homes, I have some footage coming in another video which might shed some light on how these places were actually built. And yeah, it goes on to say how the caves appear on an 1850s Type map, then don't appear on maps again until 1924. Now, hold on a minute. Let's have a look at those trusty maps from the late 1800s, like early 1900s, when it claims that they're not on the maps, and there you can see for yourselves in black and white. So which is it? Where did they get this info from? And did they not think to actually match it all up? Never mind, eh? It then goes on to mention it was supposedly permanently guarded by troops in the Second World War as ammo storage. Again, no records exist, so it's all hearsay. Now what has me questioning though is, didn't the war take place predominantly on mainland Europe? So why would you have an ammo store in almost the centre of England? It makes little sense to me. So I said I'd try and show you how thousands drive past this unawares. Now here's me driving within the speed limit, whilst my camera operative Paige tries to capture it. Hence why the footage isn't great. So yeah, that's basically where it is. Let's get to it then, shall we? And I'll try and show you as much as possible. And I was going to play it all the way through, but the video itself was about 50 minutes long, and I wasn't the only person there, so filming was rather tricky. I'm just gonna say straight off the bat, this didn't appear quarried to me in any way, shape or form, but more similar to the quarries, and I use that term lightly, that I showed in Dorset. Similar in the sense that they are caves and not quarries, but tomatoes. Now I could be wrong, and I probably am, and I don't claim to be right. I just put these places out there for people to see what they might not get to see otherwise, because a lot of the places I show aren't really mainstream or well known. And when I say places I show, I don't mean me, it's like exclusively, or I own it, because I don't. Anyway, I digress. Back to the video. Now, if you have eyes like mine, you will probably see the lack of quarry-like evidence, and see this place for what I think it was at the time, and that was a place of residence. It's plenty big enough, and has been carved in such a way that you can even see the shape of the rooms as well. And I say this because if they lived in caves around Kimber, for example, why would this be any different? It's got the same characteristics to me, so it sort of seems logical. Now, as we go through, you should see me picking up on what looks like foundations for walls, which I guess add to that ammo story, ammo store narrative. But quite why they decided to take over this place and basically do it all out, which you'll see what I mean shortly, is way beyond me. The time and the effort to brick it all up, with the walls, building whatever it was that they did here, as well as the lining, and floored with tiles all over, It just seems like they went through a lot of effort. It also makes me think about Drakelow's tunnels, which I've mentioned in my previous Kimber videos. And they were supposed to have been dug out in the 1940s, but I can't help but see the similarities, so maybe Drakelow's have stood a lot longer than the narrative claims. Now this is something that I've stated before, and I will be looking into a lot more after seeing this place. Now, is there any quarry experts out there, or anybody that knows anything about quarrying, that would care to shed some light here? Now, why would it just be quarried like this, with the door-like openings, the square-like rooms, and the supporting pillows inside? Why not just quarry the whole thing? And why is it yet another quarry has the word cave in its name? Unless it is because it's actually caves. And what makes the sandstone that's been taken away any better than this stuff that remains, which has remained like this for over 400 years, through ammo storage and endless raves, I might add. What is this place? So what I'm going to do, that's basically this level. I'm going to go out, walk around, get on top of here. I can't be asked to climb. I'm going to go out and come back in. Oh, hang on. Before I do, I forgot about this bit.
Can we clear it off?
Nah, you'll be able to see it, man.
There's a little round
So yeah, hopefully you can see all the tiles like there is everywhere else, but this one's even got a little ramp leading up to it. Okay. So hopefully you can make out. It just goes on. So then the whole of this under the mud it's all tile everywhere. And you've got a and you've got a wall as well. All this tile. Yeah, hopefully you can ignore the graffiti. I couldn't get away from it. And I mean, it does wind me up when I go to these historical places and I see this type of crap. Now, some graffiti, if it's done right, it can look good, but there's a time and a place for it, and these places ain't it. And I haven't mentioned the different levels to this place either, have I? But you should be able to see it for yourselves as we progress through. want to rush it now just so I can get it done. I'm hoping you can picture what this looked like in its former glory. It's a simply massive place, it could have easily housed a few hundred people comfortably. And the narrative on this place just doesn't add up for me, and I hope you all feel the same. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is that what you done, Paige?
I'm a bit defeated.
Huh?
I'm getting really tired. I need to do more.
You've done pretty well.
I just want to give a decent room.
You ain't gotta make the room. Have you seen how big it is? Was it a quarry? Was it a cave? Why not conventional quarrying? Why an ammo store? Why a narrative with ifs and maybes but no records of? Why such little information on such a old historical place? And why, like every other place, is it not protected but left to rot and ruin? I'd love to know why they needed floor tiles if it was a quarry. All of this is tiled, Paige. Every last bit of it is tiled. Yeah, I did notice this on one of the walls, so I decided to have a little climb up. And what these are, I can't remember the name for them, but basically it's said to be like how can I explain this? Like back in the day, if there was intruders or something, it was a way for the residents to get away up on the cliff face pretty quickly. Basically the carved little hand and feet hole type things in the rock face itself to be able to clamber up. And obviously, knowing where they are, they'd be able to get away from the intruders, and the intruders would be just left there, like looking up at them, like, how the did you get up there, kind of thing. Well, that's what I've heard anyway. But yeah, bearing in mind it was a wet, muddy day, and I had boots on, so it made it hard to grip this like properly. So as you can see, I neared the top, and I thought better of it and got back down. So there you all have it. I hope you all agree it was absolutely fascinating place, full of mystery, that has left me with a lot more questions, just like every other place that I seem to go to. As always, I've been Nicky B, and until next time.